Hello, guys. This is Andre again. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, maybe if you're in Australia, if you're on the wrong continent. Hello again. I'm here to learn something about the unit tests in JavaScript, and I have here a friend of mine, Michal, who will help me to do all the things that I want to do today because I don't know a single thing about unit tests in JavaScript. So, Michal, can you tell people who you are and what you do?
Yeah, okay. I'm Michael. I work at Kendikov for about 5 years, and I'm on senior QA engineer position. So my day-to-day job is to write tests and testing in the role. Uh, I don't know what to add.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because of you, probably the product is bug free when we release it every time, right?
Yeah, that's me. And
Perfect,
other guys.
perfect, nice. Well, I hope that you have quite a bit of experience with testing because I have zero. The last time I wrote a unit test, well, I did write some for a few of the open source projects that I did. Mainly because the project was that big that I was having struggles with testing the project, like if it really works or not that it would be automatic,
Mhm.
but that was only .NET. So we're gonna take a look at JavaScript. But first of all, guys, I have a story that I have to share with you all. Even you, Michal, that happened to me today morning. I was actually having a home office today, and I was working from home. And in the morning, when I went out with my dog, I have a German Shepherd, by the way, beautiful dogs, the best breed. So I went out, and I usually go like my circuit takes 30 minutes or so, and I actually have to cross the tram rails two times. And the second time I was coming back. There is like the big intersection with a lot of cars coming usually, and there are traffic lights and everything. And today in the morning it was, I don't know, 8:30 a.m. It was literally empty. There were no cars anywhere. And there is a red light, traffic light for pedestrians, and the light was of course red. And it usually takes you like 2 minutes before there is a green light, and the green light lasts like 10 seconds. So when there is nothing around, you don't want to just wait for 2 minutes, right? So I just looked around, and I went across the street, and at the opposite side of the street, a guy comes to me. He shows me his wallet. He had a badge there, and says like, "Yeah,
Okay.
I'm from the police, and sir, you're gonna come with me." And I'm like, "Okay, maybe they're investigating something here in the area." And apparently, he wanted to give me a fine for crossing the street, the completely empty street, just because there was a red light. So I went with him. There was a car parked, just around the corner where there were two other police officers, and so they gave me a fine. It took me about 5 minutes and about 10 euros from my pocket. But literally, I understand that they need to do these things, but when the whole street is empty, next time I'm gonna cross it again. So yeah, guys, I had to share this story with you. Otherwise, there's so many other things. I bought a new printer this week, but I'm gonna save that for some of the other streams, right? So that I don't spill everything at once. But let's get back to actually doing tests in JavaScript. Now, what I wanted to discuss first is why do we do testing? When I started development, when I started, after school, and even when I was doing university, we were always talking about tests and things like that. But my mindset was just get everything done and try if it works, and if it works, it's gonna always work. So, why do we do testing at all?
Yeah, well, it won't work forever. I'm sure you find out soon enough. Uh, but it gives you confidence that the code you wrote will be working like that in 1 year, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And even if someone else is working with that code or using your libraries or packages or something you created, he can be sure that it will work. And if he uh, work on this project you have worked on, he will be sure that when he changes something, it will not break the whole project, basically.
Yeah, those are the great benefits. I actually learned that the hard way when I started working as a developer after school. Um, I don't know if it's also in your team, but some of the teams they actually have a rule that if if you commit your changes and those changes break the build, you have to buy everyone a beer or something like that.
Oh, it's not in our team, but it sounds fun.
So yeah, I learned the hard way because I
How
had to.
many beers did you have to buy?
Yeah, a lot, and it was in Austria actually. So every beer goes for like €5. So it's not like in Czech Republic, guys. If you like beer, come to Czech Republic. It's so cheap and it's really good. You're gonna have a great time here. Ask any of our MVPs. But yeah, that was a bad experience. But then I really started to do testing, write testing, and the best thing that, from my point of view, comes with testing is that it gives you confidence in your code, just like you said. But it also gives you a possibility to pinpoint the functionality. So you don't need to start implementing the thing right away and just in the middle of implementing a feature. You figure out, okay, how is that supposed to behave in these cases when some value is null or when some other value has some unexpected value. So it gives you opportunity to write tests first and then write the implementation and just let all tests fail first and then you see as the implementation goes. So I found that to be quite a good practice. But Michal, maybe you can tell us how the Kentico development teams do it. Do they start with tests or do they start with implementation and just do the tests afterwards?
Well, it depends on the team and the feature that we are working on. If the description of the task is clear from the start, it's probably good to start with tests. But if it's a little bit fuzzy and you need to work things while you go, then we usually code and then we write tests for it. So it depends.
Okay. And what is the code coverage?
Okay, code coverage is how many % of your code is covered by tests, basically.
Yeah, I meant, thanks for that. But I meant how many code is actually covered with tests in our solution, in Kentico EMS. Or do we not want to say that?
Well, the new features are 100% coverage, but the old code, which is there like 10 years, it's not very well written for tests, so there are some basic tests, but it's not completely covered.
But I assume that's gonna get much better when we release Kentico 2020 at the end of this year, right?
Well, the MVC development will be covered, but some parts of the admin UI will be still uncovered. But there will be probably some changes, so it will get better.
Cool. That's great to hear. All right, let's get back to JavaScript because now we've discussed testing in general, but I'm really interested in how this works in JavaScript. Can you actually compare how unit tests work in .NET to JavaScript? Can you achieve the same things, or are there some restrictions around JavaScript?
Well, you can basically cover everything. So I think in this area there are no differences, but it's a little bit different how you write the test, because in .NET you have like NUnit and XUnit and you use these. And in JavaScript you have like millions of libraries and millions of ways how to test them. So I think it's a little more complicated and you need to find the way that suits you.
Right. So what are we gonna do today? What have you prepared for me?
Okay, we will be covering our sample dancing goat React app. we will look in some basic vanilla JavaScript tests, and then we try to cover one component with tests or part of it.
Cool, sounds fun. So where do we start? Do we start on GitHub?
Yeah, it's probably good to start there.
Okay. So do you know how the repository is called that I should clone or?
Okay, give me a second.
Sure. I'm just going to the Kentico main repository.
Yeah, it's content sample app React with dashes.
So sample content sample app React. Is it the first
Yes.
one here? Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. All right. So should I just clone that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to be careful, otherwise someone may find out that I have exactly zero knowledge and experience about Git. So I'm just gonna create a new folder here. Let's call that JS tests, and then I'm gonna just drag it onto this window. Okay, so I think that I can do this. Git clone and repository URL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, so this was quick.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have the app here, okay?
Yeah. So now you should probably install the node packages. So and
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
you can do it.
So npmi, is that
Yeah.
is that all? And I guess I can start Visual Studio Code, right?
Yeah, that's good idea.
Yeah. All right. I have it on a different screen, but I'm just gonna open the folder so that we have the right project in there. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so do we start with code, or do we need to install something else here?
Well, the Create React app application, unit that this application was created comes with just the JavaScript framework for testing just pre-built. It's in the application, so we don't have to install anything right now, but we will install something when we are testing the component.
Right.
But for the vanilla JavaScript, we don't need anything else, I think.
Right. So if I had just like a simple script that does not use any framework, I could just start writing tests right away. But with the solution that we just cloned from GitHub, we're gonna install something else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's that?
Not right now. We will come to that later.
Okay. That's fine.
So you can open the.
So should I first run the site to see what we're dealing with?
Yeah, you can.
So how do I run this?
npm. There should be a description in the GitHub, I think.
Okay, let me see.
I think.
Application setup, npm install, npm start. Okay, that sounds easy. So npm start. No such file or directory. JS.
Yeah, you should navigate to the folder.
Oh yeah. So I probably should do npmi again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We've already
it
had
was
that
so
before,
quick.
right?
This should take a while.
Oh, and we have Andre in the chat. Is there anybody else, guys? If you're here, let us know in the chat. We're happy to have you here.
Okay, but we can go to Visual Studio Code if you want. We can see how the application is structured. Right. So the code we want to cover is the source folder. And we will start in utilities.
Okay.
For example, the content links JS is some class that has some easy functions that we can cover. For example, the get about us link. Basically, you give it the language code and it returns about us, or the Spanish version.
Right.
So I think it will be pretty easy to cover.
So with the unit tests, we are really testing just these bits, right?
Yes.
Okay. So these are components or helper functions, or what are these? I guess these
Yes.
are used in the components, right?
Yeah, these are some helper
Right. Oh,
functions.
yeah, I see here. Yeah. Okay. So let's check this. This is still installing, so this is gonna take a second. So where do we usually put the tests? Do I create a folder here for the tests, or how does that work?
The best practice is usually to put the test files next to the code files, because then you have easy job when importing other uh, other modules that you want to use in the tests. So the best practice is right next to the content link.js. You can create a new file.
Okay. So would I name this content links.tests.js?
.test.
Oh, so content links.js.test.
No. You had tests, but it's test. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that sounds nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So is this like the only naming convention, or does this vary team to team?
Yeah, there are multiple ways you can do it. You can name it spec, for example, or you can put it in the, I think, underscore tests underscore folder, and it will run the test also. So
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We can stick with this one. So
yeah.
what do I write here?
Yeah, before we start, I think we should install jest extension to the Visual Code,
Okay.
so that will.
Do I find it here, or do I just look it up online? Because with
Yeah,
all,
you can find it here.
yeah,
And you
I've never
click
done
on.
that. I've usually just went to the Visual Studio Code website and found that there's a little button, that says install to code.
Okay, here on the left side there is the 4 squares. Yeah.
Okay.
And you type jest and install.
Wow, this was created by Facebook?
Yeah, it's Facebook's creation.
Right, so this extension is enabled globally now, so we should
Yeah.
be fine. However, it seems like the install is taking too long. Is that normal?
It shouldn't take so long. Ah.
I just
Okay.
hit Control C, so probably there was something stuck. We'll see how this goes.
Mhm.
All right.
So we can check if the extension is working correctly. So we can write some dummy tests and try if it runs it.
Okay.
So you write test method.
Like a function?
Yeah, and
Okay.
the first parameter is the name of the test.
Okay, so do I name this like hello world?
For example.
Yeah.
And the second parameter is arrow function. So you can delete the brackets that you put, the curly brackets, and inside you put arrow function that takes care of the execution of the test.
Okay. So here, what do I say here? Like console log, I'm working.
For example,
Okay.
we can try it.
So how do I run this then?
When you save it,
Okay.
it should run the test automatically.
Oh, it says test failed here.
Okay, we can see what is the problem. Can you scroll up a bit?
Yeah. React scripts is not recognized as an internal or external command.
Okay, so we need to wait until the npm install is finished.
Oh, this takes too long.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Okay, let me just kill this and run it again. Okay, now it seems to go well.
Mm-hmm. And it stopped.
It stopped again, yeah. I don't know what's wrong.
They have like npm or?
I don't know. I think I installed it like a month ago, so it should probably
It
be.
should be okay.
Oh, new patch version of npm available 6.13.4 to 6.13.7.
We can try to update it, but it shouldn't be a problem.
It's stuck on post installs execute actions. Maybe this is running still. I don't know. How do I find out if this is still running?
I'm not sure. I've never debugged this because I have never problem with that.
So my CPU is at 80%, so I assume that something's going on. But maybe it's just the Streamlabs. I don't know.
Well,
So we got a few things in the chat here. Sometimes hitting space multiple times works in PowerShell.
Oh.
Wow, that seems to do the trick. Thank you. So I'm wondering if this is the solution for every single problem that you can have in PowerShell, but that's awesome. I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's true. I don't use PowerShell for this, so maybe that's the issue with PowerShell.
Yeah.
But good to know.
Nice. You know, I had one of these moments not too long ago when, you know, whenever you wanted to create like a file that is .env or .gitignore or something like that. In Windows, this was always a challenge, right? And you always had to rename the file or so on. But lately I found out, I don't know if you know this, but I found out that you can write the file like .git, and if you suffix a dot here, it actually takes care of that. Oh, come on, what's wrong? There's an older already.
We've already Git.
So .htaccess, for example, right? So it creates the file here. Yeah, there was already a folder with .git, but .htaccess works. So if you just suffix one dot there, it creates the file, just dot and the file name, which is awesome, because usually if you do it like this, it's not gonna let you save the file. So that was also one of the moments like, how have I not found out about this before? So, yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So you see, always learning. Okay, so this is still installing. I think that I'm downloading the whole internet or something.
What's your connection internet?
Quite good, I think. So I ran the test before the Twitch, and download was around 150 megabits per second. And that's only because I'm on Wi-Fi. So, yeah, I think that should be fine. I think the majority or the major issue here is with the number of files. Yeah. So I actually have the F drive is a normal drive. I think this is the SATA drive, while the drive C is SSD. So that would have been better to have it on the drive C. But yeah. Wow.
But it will be in a minute, I hope.
Yeah, in a minute or 2 or 10. You never know.
Just need space whenever it starts.
Yeah. All right. So with these tests here, is there a resource online where the syntax is shown so that I could just go there and copy paste the things, or do I need to know this?
Yeah, you can go to just documentation.
Okay.
There is plenty of examples and other stuff.
Right. So let me see, just example. So Jest is just one of the libraries that I can use, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a runner example. It uses JS DOM for running the tests. So it doesn't use the browser, but there are some libraries or projects that, for example, Jasmine, I think, uses browser to run tests.
Okay.
But just using just DOM, so it's some abstraction of the actual DOM, so it's faster and more reliable. It doesn't rely on the browser. But on the other hand, you are not sure that it will work like that in the browser because it's just abstraction.
Okay. So yeah. So it actually uses the browser to execute the scripts.
Not just doesn't, but other, like just manual.
Okay. So I don't see any examples here, but that's maybe because I was listening to you and not browsing through the page. Let me see. Just async example. So it seems like
If you want some basic examples, I think it's more like in getting started in introduction.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
So here is some
Okay, so this
basic.
is right. So this is the functionality
Yeah, and
running from command line. Blah blah blah. Just in it. So where is the test?
it was right there at the top. If you scroll up, it's the second.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Okay, I totally overlooked that. It's not highlighted here, so that's what
Yeah.
got me. All right. Wow, this seems to be done. Skipping, blah blah blah.
There's
Blah,
some
blah, blah.
vulnerabilities.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, that should be fine. Those are just warnings, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
we're developers, so we don't care about warnings. We only care about errors. All right. So now I should be able to run this.
Yeah, so you can try to resave the file.
Okay. So this is triggered whenever I save the file. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But nothing is happening here.
Okay, then you can go to the command line or terminal or something and type npm test. And it should.
Something is happening.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it found the file, so that's good. Okay, one passed.
Yeah.
I'm working, hey. Nice. Okay,
So this works.
this works, nice.
But it should run the test automatically. So maybe you need to close the Visual Studio Code and open it again. Or
Okay,
maybe
I
there's.
can do that, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's like the ultimate problem solver, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it should be enough to just save the file, right?
Yeah. And there is in the bottom, in the blue line, there's just and three
Yeah,
dots.
it's saying, yeah.
So we hope it will do something.
Chest status.
It's
yeah, okay.
starting to watch mode.
Wow, look at that. Nice check mark here.
Yeah,
Fast.
you can see.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Nice. So let me actually run the site now so that we can move from Hello World to something a bit more interesting. So npm start, that should do the trick. So this sample app is already connected to the headless CMS, right? So we're getting content from there. Okay.
You just need to select the correct project when it's initialized. It's taking very long.
Yeah, it's taking a bit too long. Wow, but my CPU is striking.
Maybe the stream is.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I have to figure out how to because I think that the Streamlabs are eating like half of my computing power. So.
Yeah.
And memory is not the issue, but I don't know how I'm gonna add CPU. I mean, 3.6 gigs. I thought that was enough.
Not for JavaScript development.
Yeah. Okay, but maybe this will finish in like 5 minutes. I think that's fine.
Okay. So maybe we can continue with the test. Meanwhile,
sure. Yeah, let's give it a moment to load, and I'm just gonna keep it here, window to window. Yeah, so we know when this is done. Wow, but this
Okay.
is okay. Let me just hide this. All right. Oh, here we go.
So
Nice, nice.
you can use the shared project or clone
Okay,
it.
yeah, that's what I want. Share project. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah,
That
it's
looks really
quite
good.
quick when it's initialized.
So I'm not much of a React guy. So this is the first time that I'm seeing this sample project, but that was fast and nice. Cool. All right.
So if you click to product catalog,
Okay.
we will then try to cover the coffee filter on the left, the
Okay.
gray, so we can see that it actually does something when you click on
Right.
things and stuff.
Okay.
But for now, we can start with the function I showed you. So
Okay.
we know the basics.
Right. So we're gonna do so this filter here. I assume that's a component, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna write a test for that component.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that sounds cool because I have no idea how to do that. All right.
Okay.
So where do we start?
Okay. So we will start with the content links, the basic function that we looked before.
Okay.
So we need to import the actual module or function. So you see that it exports get-about-us link function,
Right.
so we can import it in our test.
Right. Okay. Like this?
Yeah, I think it's named export, so you need to put curly brackets around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And now we can work with the test. So we can change the name so it actually represents what the tests does. So we can name it like get about us link returns correct URL for culture. Yeah, and
Is the common case okay?
Yeah, for this test, it's the good practice to write it like sentence. So these tests in jest are behavior-driven tests. It's the name of the method, and it was planned that it will be used by business people, that they will write the sentence, and then you will just write the tests for it. So you can write it like sentence.
Okay. So what do you mean like sentence? Like should I start with the capital letter or?
Yeah, but you don't have to put it in one word.
Ah, okay, okay. So get about us. You mean like this? About us link returns correct URL for culture, right?
Yeah.
So like this.
Example. Yeah.
Or maybe this should be together because this is the name of the method, right?
Yeah. It's up to everyone how they name it, but it's okay like this. And then you just provide the error function again. And now you can start by calling we can examine the function. So as you can see, if we don't provide the language parameter, or if it's equal to the parameter English code, which is from the language codes module, then it's about us, and otherwise it's the Spanish version. We can now look in the English code parameter to see what it is. We can mock it later, but for now we can write it that we know what it is.
Okay, so it's ENUS or ES.
Yeah, so we can write tests that will cover these two cases.
Okay.
So you call the function.
Right. With EN US, was it?
US, yeah.
Okay, so do I just assign it to something like
yeah.
link equals enus,
Mm-hmm.
and that
then
should
you
give me the about us, right?
yes. So now you write expect, that means it's the actual test, the condition you want to check, and now you put link.
Oh,
in
like
it.
this?
Yeah.
Expect link,
Uh,
and is that
no,
a
no,
meta
no,
parameter?
no. Write it down, the second parameter,
Yeah.
and the comma, and go to the end and dot, and you can put to be
With capital B?
with capital B,
Okay.
yes, and then the name,
Like this.
yes,
Cool.
and it should give us. If you save the file, it should run and said it's okay.
Okay. This
Can
is gonna
see
take
it
a
in the
second, I assume.
yeah.
Wow, it's green. Okay.
So you write first test.
Nice, nice. So do I write the other use cases here as well, or should that be an extra test?
I would write it in this test, I
Okay.
think, because it's
So I would just call the function again with es and
yeah.
expect that link to be. Wow, I don't speak Spanish, so
Me neither.
so I'm just gonna copy that over. Right. So this should still be green. And what about other cases? Like what if it's not one of these language codes? Then it should return nothing.
I think so.
So
We
if
can
we
check.
call that again, let's say I call it only with en, then I expect that link to be empty. Okay. So it's running test. Wow, okay. 2 passed, 2 total. Nice.
So everything great.
So what if we
And
wanted? Okay, one last check here. What if I wanted to add the check version? Then it should fail. It's all too green, you know. Usually, whenever I was working with tests, they were usually red. So I'm getting a bit nervous when everything is green. Okay, here we go. So it failed. Wow, this is nice. It shows you the line where it failed.
yeah, it's very useful to the just extension.
Cool, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna just
and
yeah.
in the output you have some details about what was wrong, what was expected, and
Oh, so here I see the name of the test. Oh, here it was expected, and I received this. Nice. Cool. That gives me a lot of valuable information. Nice.
yeah, it's very detailed.
Cool. So let me just quickly adjust this method here. So we're just nesting the stuff here. So I should be able to just copy that thing and put it here. And let's say this is. Okay, I'm just gonna create here a check code. This is getting a bit more complicated, but I can do it.
You could. Okay.
Okay. So check code, and we need to go here. So another one would be CSCZ, and check code would be language codes, and the third item. I don't want to do this, so I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see this.
And you should export it
and
somewhere.
It's exported, yeah, somewhere. Yeah, you're right. Should be where do I find that? Oh, here it should be. Okay, so check code. Now let's see. Just is running tests. Wow,
Okay.
and it's green. Nice. Okay, now I like that.
So that's the basic test. And as you have seen, the content link, the get about us link function had dependency on another module. If you look in the source file, it's on the English code and Spanish code and Czech code. And if we want really unit test, we can mock this. So it tests only this function and it doesn't rely on the other modules or something.
That'd be cool. So how do I do
Would
that?
you like to try it?
Yeah.
Okay. So go to the test file. And just enables you to create mocks of modules that it will inject instead of the actual module. So if you write jest.mock.
Oh, should I write it here, just below the import?
Yeah.
Okay.
It
just module?
mock.
Mock, okay.
Yes. And again, its function and the first parameter is the address of the module. So you can check the source file and copy paste from the ./language codes.
Oh, okay.
And the second parameter is again arrow function. And here you just returns what you want. So you can type return. And we know that it's some object that returns English code, Spanish code, and now Czech code.
So I can just create an object here.
Yes, and you write English code and define what you want it to equal.
Like this?
Yeah, it is NUS, but okay.
Okay, yeah. But maybe this will fail then.
Yeah, it should.
So if I do it like this, that should work, right? Or do I need to add here the normal brackets as well?
No, you don't have to. No.
Because sometimes it's not recognized as an object, but now it's not complaining, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now the test should fail.
Yes, it definitely should, because I have the en here and there is enus.
Yeah.
Okay,
you can
now it failed and it failed here. Nice.
So you learned how to mock files. So that's useful.
Cool. Wow, this is interesting. So it's really taking so it's taking the language and here is taking my English code that I just mocked.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So if I now put here en, that should again make the test working. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool.
So now you have truly unit test.
Nice. So what if I make mistake here? Now, isn't this something that I should also test?
Well, you shouldn't, because it's something that you expect. So it's like you make mistake in the expect statement. So
yeah, that's true.
It's up to you to make it correctly.
So how often does it happen when some tests fail that you actually find a mistake in the test?
Oh, like, I don't know, 5% of the time.
Okay. So it doesn't happen just to me. That's good. That's good to hear, right?
Yeah, it's not that often, but it happens sometimes.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
So what do we do next?
We have covered the basic function, the vanilla JavaScript. So we can try to cover some React component if you would like to do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
So do we do the filter here?
Yeah, I think it's a good component because you have some interaction with that, and it should showcase all that you basically need to do in your test.
Okay.
The basics of.
So this is in store coffees. So I would assume that this is coffee filter.
Yes.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Okay.
So and so you just create the new file for test.
Right. Okay.
Then
So
we can expect. Sorry.
yeah, let me just quickly check what this component does.
Yeah. Okay.
So it extends component. Okay, it gets a state.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it gains some state from the server, and whenever and it renders the component, and whenever you click on some of the checkboxes, it's send the state to the headless CMS again, and it returns in another component the correct coffees that you filtered out.
Right. Okay, so yeah, it gets the data from the store, right? So the state is state, the unchange is bound. Okay. Yeah, that seems quite understandable. So there is the processing filter here and product status filter. I assume that's these two.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have. So where's the list of the products?
It's not here.
It's not here. All right. Okay.
In some other component, but we will not test it today.
Okay. So what this thing actually does. So there is a filter here. This filter, this state filter. So how does the information travel from this component through the filter to the list?
I think there is parent component.
Okay.
That the state is sent to.
Like this one?
Yeah, I think this is the one. But yeah.
So there's coffees here. So I assume in the coffees we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This filter map coffee index. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go back to coffee filter. So what do we actually want to unit test here?
Okay, so for starters, it's usually great to just render the component and check if it doesn't throw any errors when it's rendered.
Okay, so I'm going to create the file here. So it's coffeefilter.test.js. And what do we do here then?
Yeah. Now we need to install another library that will help us to test these React components.
Okay.
I decided to use React testing libraries, but there are others like Enzyme and others, but the React testing library is officially recommended by React developers. So.
Okay, so do I install it with npm?
Yes.
Okay, so how is it called?
It's testing dash library / React.
Like this?
Yeah, and there is add at the start.
Right. Of React, or
no.
Here.
Yeah. And you can install it for just development, but it's okay for now.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
And then we will need some jest extender because the jest provides some methods to check the values. Like we see the expect to be, but we want to expand it a little so we can check the jest DOM, for example, that some HTML attribute is in the document or has some class or something like that. Okay. So we will install the library for that.
So if I understand this, then jest will basically render the component and therefore it's owner of the DOM as well.
The component will be rendered actually by the testing library.
Right, okay.
Jest is just runner.
Right. Wow, this takes long as well.
Yeah, maybe hit some spaces.
Yeah, I did that. I already did that, but it seems like it's really doing something. Yeah, I'm just trying to hit spaces, but nothing's happening.
Oh, and I thought we had ultimate solution.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't seem so. But yeah, let's give it a moment. So can we start without that installed, or do we need to wait for it to finish?
Yeah, we can start, but we will not run the test.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We can run it in a moment. All right. So how do we start?
Okay. So basically, you just write again test.
Oops. Okay.
And again name of the test, like renders component without error or something like that.
Okay.
And now we would need the testing library actually, because we want to render the component, and it's the thing that the library does. So
Right. Yeah, I'm hitting spaces here. Nothing's happening. And the CPU is at half of its power. So, all right, let's start again.
maybe. I didn't think that the NPN will be issued today, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, something's
seems a
happening.
little bit better.
Yeah. A little bit. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
I think
and
we're
now
done here.
we can install the extenders.
Okay.
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
I need to find how it's called. Okay. It's again testing library with the at the start. Slash just dash dom.
Like this?
Sorry, I'm not seeing now the Skype.
You don't see
Okay.
Okay.
No, not the dot, but dash.
Oh, dash. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that node actually has eaten all my connection bits. So he just stole the screen from you.
Okay. I hope it will run smoothly, but it doesn't seem so.
It's gonna be fine. Come on. There we go. Almost done, almost done. You know, this is like when you have a 3D printer and you wanna start the print, you just look at the thing working for the first layer. you're looking at it and say like, please just stick to the bed, stick to the bed. And once you have the first layer done, you're fine. But, you know, the first layer, you're like, please just work.
Yeah.
So yeah. Lodash extracted.
Come on. But we can actually, I think, start with the test because we have the testing library.
You know, but I just wish I was a JavaScript developer, because then I could say, whenever I'm procrastinating, I would just say, yeah, npm's installing packages. So what do I do? All right, so let's start then. Wow, this is already green.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice.
So you need to import from the testing library.
Okay.
So you will like to import a function render. I think that's it for now.
From
the testing library.
Oh, so DOM or React?
React.
Okay. Wow,
Okay.
it's already there. Wow, okay. Yeah.
And now you also need to import the component.
Okay, so that was coffee filter from coffee filter.
Yes.
Is this actually named to import as well?
I think it's default.
Let me see. Yeah, it's default, you're right. So we don't need this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And now you just call render. And you put the coffee filter in HTML tags.
Oh, okay.
Like it's HTML attribute. Yeah.
Can I just close this, or do I need to?
Yeah, it's better to close it.
Okay,
To just.
right.
And now you can run the test, and we will see if it fails or not.
Maybe you want to wait till this is finished?
We don't actually need it now, but if you save the file, we should. The test should fail, and we will work on it.
Okay, I'm just gonna save this and see what happens.
Yeah. And maybe kill this and run it again.
Run it again, yeah, probably. That's what helps today. One test failed. Okay.
Yeah. As you can
So
see,
this
the
failed.
test failed.
React is not defined.
Okay, so you need to import React at the start.
Oh, is this like from React?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're working with code, if you, let's say, change the component, whenever you save the file, would that also trigger all the tests?
Yes.
Okay. So you know that's cool. That's handy, because whenever you save something, you know exactly if you broke something.
Yes.
Cool.
It's
okay.
Cool. If you don't have very many tests,
Yeah.
then you don't need this. Then you just run the tests you need and.
Right.
Let
Or you just get a better CPU than I have. Wow.
Okay, but the test fell again.
No, it's still running. It's still running.
Oh, it's okay.
It's still running. But this finished. Wow.
Oh,
okay.
At least something.
Yeah, at least something, right? So we have just DOM installed finally, and
so we can import it when we have time.
This is okay. So what do I need to import from that?
It's not in the curly brackets. It's just in the just the quotation marks.
No, what did you
like
say?
just name of the library.
Name of the library. Okay, so it's just DOM.
But it's in quotation marks.
Okay, like this.
Yeah, and it's again testing library / extend
Right.
expect.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it's extend expect, not just
Oh, it's what?
Erase just the DOM. And / extend - expect.
Like this?
And you usually have these imports in some configuration file, because you need to import this in every test file.
Right,
but
yeah.
For now, we will just put it here.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just gonna save this. Will that make the test go green?
No, this will still fail.
Okay. All right. So now it's running. So why is this failing?
If you see the component, if you go to the source file, and you can see here that it's actually in a higher order component called translate. So we need to somehow ensure this is mocked or faked or something, because otherwise it fails, because it uses this. So one thing that it's usually used is that you just export the component like name export without the higher order component.
Right.
So if you find the coffee filter class in this file, go to the definition. F12, you can.
Okay. So here or?
Yeah, and you just export this class.
So this is already exported. So should I change the file here or?
No, it's not exported. It's exported as default.
Yeah.
But we can export it as name export and use the name export in our tests and the default export in our implementations.
Okay. So do I write this here?
No, you can just write export in the class, but you can write it here as you wish.
No, that's easier. All right. Okay.
Okay. And now if you go to the test, you should change the import of the coffee filter to named export.
Right. So this imports the class from that file. All right. That makes sense.
And one issue is that the translate higher order component is using the function which translates the text. So we need to mock this function for this component so it works properly.
So do I write the just mock?
No. You don't have to actually do this because it's when it's not provided as higher order component, it can be provided as props of the component.
Okay.
So if you go to the coffee filter HTML that you have there, and you write inside, just enter it.
Like an attribute
or? Make new line, so it's more.
Oh, okay. Like inside the component?
Yeah, inside the component.
Right, so I'm just gonna do it like this?
No.
No?
You had it correctly. Just hit enter when you are before the, here.
Right, okay.
Okay. And on the new line, you can write t equals...
T?
Yeah, t.
D.
It's the name of the file. T. It's like translate.
Okay.
It's shorthand. Equals curly brackets. And now we can provide some, you can just, provide empty function or just enables you to create some mock function that you can then do other stuff with.
Right.
So I usually use that. So you can just put there just.fn and brackets instead of
like here?
this.
Just?
Yeah. .fn and brackets.
Okay.
Yeah. And this will mock the function. And now I think it should run. It should pass.
So it's running again. We'll see in a moment. One test failed.
Also again failed.
But maybe it's something different.
What's the problem?
Total import testing library / extend expect. Cannot find module. Should I install that too?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the missing piece.
No. Sorry. I'm sorry. Before the extend expect in the import, there is just I forgot. Before it.
So it should. Oh, okay. So
No. In the import, where just before this extend expect string.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Just DOM string.
Just DOM.
And slash.
Right. Okay. I see there. Yeah. Right.
Sorry, that was my bad.
No worries. I was wondering, that we never installed this. How can we import it?
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, Michal knows what he's doing, so that should be fine.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Okay. So now we're green. 3 passed and 3 total. Awesome.
So we have basic test that the component renders without error, so it's good. But we usually want to test, for example, that it renders what we want, that we expect. So I think we should write new test.
Right. So I keep that one in there for future, just in case. Yeah. So now we render, or how do we call this? Renders component
with correct data.
With correct data. Yeah. You know, I was always bad at naming tests. I'm also bad at naming properties. You know, last time in the last stream, I named one of the fields in the headless CMS option, and when I was going through the GraphQL response, I was just going through data and everything sounded so general and I couldn't find what I was looking for. Then I figured, oh wow, I called it option. Yeah. So. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
So now the testing library provides some handful methods. The approach that the testing library tries to force is that you check the things that you want to see, like the user of your product will see. So you don't usually check if this element has this class or this ID, but it usually checks by it renders this text or this image. Okay. So if you check the source file, then and check where is the filter and what should be there. You can, for example, see. We can check, for example, the title.
Right. So we're looking at, essentially we're looking at this piece of code, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And here you can see that there is this props t and there is the string which needs to be translated. So we can check if this string is on the page when it's rendered.
Right. But this should be empty, right? When I provided this function instead.
Yeah, I am not I think it will return the string unchanged. But we can check.
Right. Yeah. So it returns whatever it gets.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So how do we test that the title is there?
Yeah. So go to the test file. Import from the testing library, and we will need. Actually, what will we need? Something. Oh, you don't have to import it. Okay, so we just call the render again, like in the previous test.
Oh, sorry. I was almost adjusting that one. All right. So again, coffee filter?
Yeah.
With T just fn, okay.
I usually put this in separate private method, so I don't have to write this render again and again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And now the render function actually returns some helper functions, and we can, so you can, before the render, write assign to const. No, write just const.
Oh, yeah. You mean like that? All right. Yeah, so how do we call that?
And in curly brackets, because we want to, how do you say it?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I'm not sure what the function is called, so maybe we can check the testing library documentation.
Sure. So that's just still, right?
Yeah. And no, it's a React testing library.
Okay. And we're looking for render.
Right? We are looking for something like get by text. I think that's it, but just to be sure.
Okay.
Yeah. here you can see that there are 4 options. Okay, never mind.
Okay, but let's go up there. So yeah, because how do I know that I'm looking for get by text?
Yeah, you have 4 options. You can get by, get all by, query by, or query all by. And if you want just single element, you call get by. If you want multiple, get all by, etc.
Right. So this basically means we're cherry picking what we want from the rendered component, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
you just put get by text there.
Okay. Okay.
And now you can call expect.
Oh, right. So
and you call the function get by text.
Yeah, get by text.
And you put there the text, just the text.
Oh, just the coffee processing title?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it should work.
Oh, we're not going to...
Yeah, sorry, to be in document. Because we have a new extension to expect, and we can call to be in document. That will check if the title is in the document.
Oh, okay.
To be in the document. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So should I rename the test to renders component with title or something like that?
Yeah, but I think we will continue.
Okay. All right. So this failed. Why did this fail? Unable to find an element with the text coffee processing title.
Okay, so it didn't render as you said.
Yeah, it returns it doesn't return anything.
So we maybe can return.
So we provide our own function?
Just leave it there as it is.
Okay.
And put very where at the fn.
Okay.
And next after the bracket put a dot.
Yeah.
And dot mock implementation.
Oh, sorry. Mock implementation, yeah.
And put arrow function again in it. And now we can return what we want.
Okay, so do I put here arg and return arg?
Yeah, it should.
Or is there a shorthand for this?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well,
I don't usually use this translate. So.
Yeah. If this works, I'm happy with that. Okay, so now this should work. Let's
Hopefully.
See. Oh, we got a comment here from Developers Garage. The hardest part about software development, naming things. Yeah. Yeah, I would sign that.
So it works.
Oh, cool. So we got 4 past tests. Nice.
Okay, so that's it. We checked that something is rendered, but we probably want to check that the data that were provided from the headless CMS are rendered correctly, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we will probably want to mock the headless CMS part, right?
Okay. How do we do that?
Yeah, if you check the source.
So that was the store, or where do we take the data from?
Yeah, we should check where it's from.
So that was the coffee store, right?
Yeah, coffee store.
Okay, so we got coffee store. That's a new coffee here.
Okay, there's a lot of functions, but we will work with that. So I didn't say it before, but it just provides two basic ways of mocking. It's automatic mocking and manual mocking. If you call the just.mock and path to the library without the arrow function, it will just mock every function in this module with the just fn svc. So if you want to just check that this method from this module was called in my component, then it's okay. But usually when you want to, for example, define the data that it returns, then you need to use the manual mocks. So we will use the manual mocks. And so we will just go to the test and do that.
So we're still doing it in the scope of the coffee filter.test, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you just put just mock at the start.
Right.
Again.
Okay. So
yeah, you can check the source file. Where is it from the store?
So this was the coffee store.
Yeah,
Let me check.
it's in the coffee filter at the top.
Coffee store, new coffee. You mean this one or?
No, just go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one?
Yeah. And just the path.
Okay, so we're looking just for this, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So we'll just mark this part.
And just provide arrow function again.
Yeah, I already forgot how we did that in the first place, so thanks for leading me here.
Yeah, okay. And now it gets a little bit complicated because if you check the store, if you go to the source file of the store,
here we go. Yeah.
It actually exports
coffee store and reset store.
Coffee store and reset store.
Yeah.
So it's two parts. So I don't think we will check the reset store in this example, but we will need to mock the coffee store. So if you go to the test, then you return new object because it was object and coffee store.
Okay.
And it's again object. And now we can define the methods that we need.
Right. So that's, in this case, it's get processing, get product statuses, and get filter?
Yeah, for starter. And then we will check
the rest. Okay.
Yeah, there's more, but let's start with this.
Right, so do I need to do all these three?
Yeah, because when you use manual mocks, you have to define everything or it's undefined.
So get processings, get product statuses, and get filter. Okay.
Okay. And it's we will just use just mock, so just.fn. So just the just function, and we will leave it like it for now, I think, and use it everywhere.
I think I'm missing commas here.
Yeah.
Oh, and I actually got one comment here in the chat that we can just use just fn input and input, so we don't need this. We can just do it like that.
Yeah, that's true. And now I think
map of undefined just. Okay.
Yeah, because we didn't mock some function, I think, in the mock.
All right, so this should work then.
No, I think there were more functions that this needs.
Right, okay, so I need to do all of them, as you said before.
Yeah, so there is a change.
So we need to do these all too? At change listener?
Yeah.
All right.
Basically everything that is called when the component is rendered.
Provide processings. Provide product statuses.
And I think there were 2 more in the component
Remove
requirement.
change listener and unsubscribe. Is that it? And set state maybe?
Yeah, set state.
Oh, why is this? Yeah. Set state.
Okay, you can save it and we will see.
Okay, something's wrong here, but let me just. Yeah, okay, now it works.
Yeah, until the tests are run, it sometimes breaks the
Right.
code.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't know where was the test originally. Oh, so we have another error. What's that?
So 2 failed.
Yeah, I think these 2. And why?
Can read property map of undefined chest.
Can you show me the mock again?
Yeah.
So here, coffee store. Cat first. Yeah, sounds okay. Can you check what the map function is called on?
Yeah, sorry, I just said it again.
Okay.
It's just a habit, you know, whenever I change something I hit Ctrl S. So just give me a sec. Yeah.
But there should be where it called the map
Where do I
function.
find that? Type error. Where do I find that? So this goes to runtime script errors.
Yeah, but there should be somewhere the source file.
I don't see it. Coffee
Maybe-
filter. Here it is, 23 line.
No, we need to check where in the source file of the component the map function is called. But I think you are too high, maybe.
Let's go. Oh, here you mean?
Yeah, but we need to see what's causing that.
Okay, I don't know where to find that.
Can you maybe run it in the terminal, the test?
Yeah.
Because there is
Sure.
colored output.
Oh, here? Or PowerShell doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, maybe PowerShell. NPM test.
So yeah, I'm just okay. Oh, we got a hint in the chat. It's coffeefilter.js, line 47. Here.
There is no map.
Yeah.
Maybe in the component that you were navigated.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, here.
Line 57.
Yeah,
Coffeefilter.js,
of
line
course.
57.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because in the mock, if you see, we just mock the function, so it doesn't return any array of processings.
Right.
So it fails because it can't map.
Right, that makes sense. So in the processings, in the props of processings, there are processings here, this state processings, and I assume that takes data from the coffee store. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in here we need to return an array, right?
Yeah, and we can check what it expects,
Right.
what the array should look like.
Was 57, right? So it expects an object processing.
Yeah, in the processing filter item
Yeah.
component, go to processing filter item component. Yeah, so it's code name and maybe something else, but yeah, there is name at the end.
Yeah.
So
name.
code name and name.
Code name and name, yeah, it seems so. Okay, so we need to just return an array that has at least one object that contains code name and name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can call a mock implementation.
So
and just array. Yeah.
and here we need an object, right?
Yeah.
So code name and name, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that it will also fail because of the product statuses will be the same.
Yeah, let's check where we use that. Product
You know,
statuses.
it's processings and filters. It's the two filters that are displayed on the.
Right. Yeah.
So
product statuses, and here we're looking for product status, code name again. Just code name and name. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. It's pretty much the same case. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy and paste that.
Okay, but maybe you want to name it differently because then we will check if it displays correct processings.
Okay, so processing hello world.
For example.
And here product statuses hello world. Okay, now let's see.
When I do this, I usually tend to use the actual filters because you want to test it like the user sees it. So I would just check the live site and see what the names are, but this should be fine.
Oh, okay.
So what we have now
errors here.
So what's the problem again?
2 failed. Let checked. Cannot read property processing of undefined. Props filter is undefined. Which is probably true because
why do you have
get filter is empty.
Yeah, but you have arc in the mock implementation.
Oh yeah, that's true, and I'm not returning anything. Or I am. I'm returning the
But yeah, it's okay. I just put empty brackets there, but arc shouldn't break it. So what's the problem?
I think that the filter is the problem. Because it says here that the props...
Yeah. Okay. So we need to mock the filter also.
Yeah. And the filter is an object, or what is that?
Yeah, I think it's object.
Filter product statuses. Right, okay. Now I start to figure out how that thing actually works. Okay, so do we return an object here with processings and product statuses, or?
Yeah, but you need to return again because now you just define the arrow function. You know, you need to return again.
Oh, I think that this should work actually if I have just one object here.
Yeah, I don't think so. You need to either put brackets before...
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right, yeah, okay. Yeah. So this actually tells React that this is an object.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, so what do I do here? Processing, that would be an array again?
Yeah, I think we can put empty array for now.
Right.
And we shall see.
We will probably also need the product statuses, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully this will pass.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Cool.
Wow, really? 4 tests passed. Awesome.
So now we can check in the test that it displays the processing and product statuses as we define them.
Okay, yeah.
So we can check how it was rendered, but I think that the name is used, right? In the source file, the name is rendered in the filter.
I think so. Let me. But yeah, I think we can see that here, right? Yeah. In the filter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, label.
Product status name, yeah.
So we can check check again. If we check get by text and put there
okay,
the
right.
processing name, it should be in the rendered component.
Right. Okay. So we basically can copy this, right?
But you can put it in this test, I think.
Okay. So expect. Are we using the get by text again?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're expecting actually this name, right?
Yes.
Processing hello world. Processing hello world to just be in the document?
Yeah.
In the document.
Okay.
Wow.
It's in there.
Awesome. So what if I make a mistake here? Just like to see it fail from time to time. Wow, this is cool.
It seems dangerous when the tests pass for the first time.
Yeah.
It sounds like the implementation is wrong.
Okay, now it tells me it failed, and it shows me
the DOM.
Right, it shows me that it failed here. And it also renders the HTML that was rendered, right?
Yes.
So I see the coffee processing title here. And I see my hello worlds as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. This is cool, right. So do I have any way of knowing how much of my implementation is covered with tests here?
Yeah, the jest has I think cover. You can run it with cover parameter, and it will save the coverage to a folder. And also, you can do it here.
Yeah.
Again, test dash cover, I think. Yeah, and also if you go to the Visual Studio Code, and you go to the command palette, Ctrl-Shift-P.
Okay.
And you type coverage.
Nice.
You can toggle coverage overlay. And if you wait for a second, it will run the tests again. And
I see, okay.
If you go to the source file of some component, then it should put some overlay about the lines that were covered by the tests.
Oh, okay. So there is no overlay now. Oh, now it is. Wow, okay.
So now you can see which part you still need to cover.
Right. Okay, that's cool. So is there in production ready products, is there any file that has 0 lines like this?
In our production?
Yeah, like if there is any file that is completely covered.
I think there are some.
Okay.
Because sometimes you have some parts that you don't actually need to cover, or it's too complicated. So some parts might not be, but...
Wow. Okay, but this is cool.
Yeah, and also if you go to the... Yeah, if you go to the Window Explorer, and there should be coverage folder.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the report, and there is HTML.
Oh, cool. So I even get a nice UI with that.
Yeah, and you can click to the components and check which.
Right. Wow, that's cool. So I have 86.49% of statements covered.
Yeah.
Nice, that wasn't so hard. Alright.
Okay. So would you like to write one more test that will check when you hit some filter button that the store is updated?
Sure, let's do that, yeah.
Okay. So create new test. I think you now know how to do it?
So we're simulating whenever I click on this thing.
Yeah.
Right. So when that happens, I should actually get a new state, and here in the filter, I should get a value, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure because we mocked a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So I'm not sure that it will be updated, but we
Okay.
can check that it is called at least.
So how do we call the test?
I don't know, toggles filter when filter item is clicked or something like that.
Okay. Toggles filter when item is clicked.
Yeah, or store is updated, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you render the component again.
Okay, so that's this part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have the text of the rendered label. So I think if the application is well written, then it should be enough to just click the label and the checkbox should be clicked. You can check it on the live site if it's the case.
I think so, yeah. It's a label here, so that works.
Yeah, so we can work with that. And the React testing library provides a fire event group of method. You need to import it to the React testing library. There is fire. When you have render, then you can put another, and it's a fire event.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. And now in the test, you can just call fire event dot click and put the get by text.
Wow. Okay. So I can just call the get by text to find the element, and the fire event will click on it.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool. Okay. So we're looking for the processing hello world?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, it should click that, and now we have to, I think, look in the source component what should actually happen.
So is there a way how I can turn these off?
Yes, you can just type Control Shift P and toggle the coverage overlay.
Oh, okay. So it's a toggle, right? That looks good. Okay. So.
So when the button is clicked,
So that's the processing filter, right?
Yeah, go to it, and there should be on change. There it was.
So props filter toggle processing. It calls filter toggle processing.
Yes, and the coffee star also set filter.
Filter. But we mocked both of that, right?
Yeah. So we can check both of them.
Right.
No, we didn't toggle processing. I think we didn't mock it because it's in the filter object.
Yeah. So I think that this is undefined, right?
Yeah. So we can just check the set filter for now.
Okay, but yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the set filter, where is that, by the way? Coffee store set filter. So coffee store is here. I think it's missing, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there should be no set state, but just set filter.
Set state is there as well, isn't it?
I don't think it's on the store object.
There's this set state.
Yeah, but it's on the component.
This is not state. Yeah, you're right. My mistake.
That's okay.
Okay. So the function is gonna call the set filter, and in this case, it's just gonna vanish, right? So we're gonna need to mock implementation.
We actually don't have to if we want to just check that that it is called.
Okay.
And we can just go to the test.
Right.
Oh, something is wrong. What's
Toggle
wrong?
processing is not a function. Props filter toggle processing is not a function.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, we need to define that.
So just .fn.
So now you can expect again that it's in the bracket. Yeah, the store. That we didn't import it right. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we need to import that.
So import coffee store from coffee store.
Yeah, because it exports module. I think we need to import it as import asterisks. No,
Okay.
or yeah, as I don't know, store or coffee store.
Like this?
This should work.
Okay.
So now in the expect, you can call coffee store.
Right.
There should be another coffee store.
Oh, there is, yeah.
Set filter it was, I think.
Set filter, yeah.
Yeah, and now, no. Erase the brackets and put dot after the another bracket. No.
Oh, like this, yeah.
And
to be called?
have been called.
Cool, that's intuitive. Nice.
To have been called.
Oh. What's the difference?
I don't think there is to be called method because you.
Really? There is.
Oh,
To be called?
okay.
To
Then I don't know the difference, but
To have
I
been
use
called.
have been called because it sounds more naturally.
Yeah,
because
that's
you are-
true. That's true. Yeah, but I'm just interested. What's the difference? To be called versus to have been called. See, I'm not the first one who googled this. Let's see. Oh, that's just an alias.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
Okay. Cool. All right. So when I say
Yeah.
this
This should
should pass then. It seems it's already passed.
Yeah.
Wow, it's quicker than me. But let's run it again, just to be sure.
Oh.
No, it failed. Okay, so expect
Okay.
set filter of undefined. So coffee store is undefined here.
Maybe you need to import it under another name than coffee store.
Okay, yeah. So let's call that store. Capital S. No, still failing. Cannot read property set filter of undefined. So this is undefined.
That's weird because we provided coffee store, right?
So let's
In the mock.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So in the mock we have coffee store. Stores coffee.
Oh, it's difference.
Maybe this is an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this?
Yeah. And two dots.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a different class probably.
Yeah.
So still running tests. One test suite failed. Import
this
a store. Cannot find module. Oh, come on. I already fixed that.
You are too quick.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
5 passed, 5 total. Awesome. So now this is working. That's cool. But that
So
also means that whenever I change the implementation, I have to change all the respective tests, right? When I'm just checking if this was called.
yes,
Right.
but you you will need always change tests when you change implementation. So
Right. Right. Okay, cool. So
for me,
again,
it's a great way to have this covered when I use TypeScript because it tells you that there is method that doesn't exist. So I prefer to use TypeScript for my project, but for this simple project, I think it's okay like this.
cool. So was that the last example?
Yeah, I think that
Nice.
we covered everything.
But this is cool. I mean, I really expected that to be more complicated than just this. Because when you see it working, you feel like, oh my god, this is gonna take a long time to implement. Because at least in whenever I would do something like this in MVC or in .NET, this would be quite a big task, and I would have no idea how to test those components. But here it seems to be quite straightforward. I mean, I understood everything that we were doing, and the jest naming is really intuitive. So that's really cool. I like this.
Yeah. Okay, so you will write tests now for
Yes.
JavaScript?
Maybe I'll just stop by at your team if you're looking for someone. Maybe I'll just become a JavaScript developer.
Okay.
All right. So thank you very much for
Yeah.
for this. This was for me. This was really eye-opening. I had no idea how this works. So this is great to know. Is there something that you would recommend that you stumbled upon or you learned the hard way that you would recommend to people who are just starting with testing in JavaScript, like myself?
Sure. I'm not sure. I think I covered it here.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Cool. Well, my recommendation would be just do it. Just do
yeah.
tests. What I actually, from my experience, but it was a .NET experience, not JavaScript, was that actually starting with the test and then providing the implementation was easier because it lets you like pinpoint the functionality, especially with bigger projects. So that was at least my experience. That helped me a lot with those projects. But otherwise, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. You can find me on Twitter /Ondrabas. Let me know if you have any questions. I can ask Michal again, or I can ask him to do another more advanced examples maybe. But I think that this was a handful, at least for me. Now I have to get some rest. So thanks to all of you guys for watching. Thank you, Michal, for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.